Yeah. Today we're going to explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbis Yitzchak Lombrazo, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. Now it's actually interesting. His father's Hilula, Rabbi Yaakov Lombrazo, happens to be on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, which you just come out of. His father passed away in the year 1723. So I thought I'd also dedicate a video now in memory of Rabbi Yitzchak Lombrazo, explore a few of the highlights of his life. He was born, I believe, in the year 1680, Rabbi Yitzchak was, and he passed away in the year 1752. I'm not too sure the exact date when he passed away, when his actual Hilula is, but he passed away, we're talking about nearly 275 years ago. He was one of the great rabbis of his time, one of the great rabbis in Tunisia. He was a Talmid of the famous Rav Avram Tayyab, and was very much, came from a great generation, let's just say, of great rabbis from his specific vicinity. There was a Lombrazo rabbinic dynasty over there. He, at one stage, Rabbi Yitzchak, would serve as a chief rabbi of Tunisian Jewry, respectively, very prominent positions. And now, I believe, he was a judge. He would start becoming a judge, a Dayan, around the year 1710, let's just say, at in the place in itself. It was close. There was native Tunisians over there, Gorines, and Italians. He was appointed rabbinical judge, I think, of various different rabbis. He was a man of means. He would, let's just say, he filled at the same time, reported over, the position of receiver of taxes to the Bey, as well as of the Kaid, or Quad, I hope I pronounced that correctly, or official representatives of his community. He was one, let's just say, one of the famous students of another great rabbi, Rabbi Semach Sarfati, another great rabbi we've spoken about, I believe, on various occasions before. Rav Semach happened to be chief rabbi also of Tunisia and a member of the Bet Din in Tunisia. He passed away himself in the year 1717, lived nearly 100 years, actually, Rav Semach did. And he was, let's say, the most important among the Tunisian rabbis, let's just say, during the time period of the 18th century. Rabbi Yitzchak Lombrazo would, let's say, encourage and assist his fellow rabbis. Let's say, his reputation as a great Gemara teacher, educator, Talmudist, and a great Kabbalist, let's say, really did put him at highest esteem. It's actually interesting. He had another great rabbi lived at his period, I think, Rabbi Yoshua Kohen Tanuji, another rabbi we've spoken about before. They were both outstanding Talmidim of Rabbi Avram Taib, who was a very great rabbi. Now we're going to explore the great Torah works which he wrote, including the Zera Yitzchak, happened to be a great book of his. It was published, I think, in the year 1768, possibly after he passed away, 16 years afterwards. It's a commentary on different sections of Talmud with different orations. It was pronounced by Rabbi Lombrazo on diverse occasions, and was very, very much brilliant in of itself. Now, there was other famous works. I think divided. This book was into various different sections, if I'm not mistaken. Chelek Aleph, the first section, was on the Talmud and the Gemara, and Chelek Bet, the second section, was Shilot Shuvot, question and answers, or Shut, as some people call it. I think it was printed later on, way later, just recent years, in 1997, through Machon Haktab in Jerusalem. Respectively. Then I think there was a book explaining the Tanakh, the Torah, Nevi'im, and Ketuvim, the prophets' writings, respectively, and the Bible itself. And Sefer Haganah al Yahadut, on the Judaism. He would actually write various different writings and teachings in of itself. Now, I think I believe it was around the year 1741, if I'm not mistaken. His Rabbi Avram Tayyab passed away. He was actually the chief rabbi of the Tunisian Jewry, as we said before, and at that stage, Rabbi Yitzchak would fill his place and serve as a chief rabbi of Tunisia, the community itself, and was considered like the main teacher and rabbinic educator, I believe, over there in Tunisia, respectively. He was buried in the old Jewish cemetery of Tunis, in the city of Tunis. That was in the year 1752. Let's explore some of his family life. He had great family. I believe his grandfather happened to be a great man also. He was the famous Rabbi Meir Lombrazo, who was one of the great rabbis also of Tunis in his day, was also a judge, a Dayan, and I believe maybe possibly a chief rabbi. He was around the 17th century era. I believe his father was Rabbi Yaakov Lombrazo. I think we mentioned him on various occasions before. He was also the rabbi of Tunis. I believe he passed away in the year 1723, Rosh Chodesh Sivan. Happens to be his Hilula here on Rosh Chodesh Sivan, so hopefully maybe we'll do a video on him. That's why we're actually recording about Rabbi Yitzchak today. His brother was Rabbi Avraham Harishon, who I think passed away around the year 1770. He was the author of the Pre-Kadash, and very much was also nicknamed Avram HaChasid, I believe. Really, really great rabbi. It's reported over that his brother had the famous Elijah the prophet actually appeared to him, Eliyahu Hanavi. His son was Rabbi Abraham Hasheni, you could say. And very interesting enough, he was also a great rabbi, following really this rabbinic dynasty, let's just say. So he was described by the famous Rabbi Uziel El-Hayek, rabbi we've spoken about before. He was a judge in Tunisia, respectively, and wrote different historical writings. As a great scholar and a chassid, he described Rav Avram, his son. And I think there was a famous book of Zeri Yitzchak, and there was approvals for other books also. His son passed away, I believe, Rav Avram, in the year 1782. I think November the 14th, to be precise, or 8th of Kislev, around that. Maybe it was 1783, I'm not too sure. Now, the family itself, I believe, originated from Italy, and that's a very Italian name, would later move on to Tunisia as part of the Grana community, respectively. He was a great rabbi of his time. As we said, he was buried in Tunisia. His rabbis included Rabbi Avram Taib, Rabbi Tzemach Tzarfati, and Rabbi Avram Cohen. He had great students also, including Rabbi Mordechai Baruch Karbala, who was a great rabbi. Also, Rabbi Avram Ktorza. I believe we actually did a video with in regards to him. Also, Rabbi Naharai German, and Rabbi Yosef Zarka, I believe, another great rabbi we've spoken about before on various occasions. So hopefully he was about 72 years of age at the time he passed away. I really hope at one stage we'll be able to maybe cover a video on the history of the great Tunisian chief rabbis throughout history. I really hope that will be definitely a great intention of mine to do. I think there's articles out there that expounds, let's say, deeply within regards to the famous Lombrazo rabbinic dynasty on various different places. There's actually an excellent rabbinic website called tunisia.co.il, which really covers all of Tunisia Jewry, and actually dedicated, I think, a page within regards to the history of the Lombrazo rabbinic dynasty. So please, I would recommend to look into that. Friends, we're a community here. We are learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. Now, if you, let's just say, descend from any of these great rabbis, please send me an email. I would love to hear more. Now, one more thing I just want to say within regards to that, he was very connected to Rabbi Mordechai Baruch Carvalho, who I mentioned before. He passed away in the year 1785. I think Rabbi Mordechai was a Talmid of Rabbi Isaac Lombrazo, and would really much succeed him in everything he did afterwards. And he was considered Rabbi Mordechai Baruch Carvalho as his star student, and would later on become the rabbi of Lechon, the congregation of Tunisia, and had a huge reputation also, and was maybe a top, let's say, rabbinical authority over there. His Talmid, Rabbi Mordechai Baruch Carvalho, did famous books, including To'afot Ze'em, which was a great commentary on Rabbi Eliyahu Mizrahi's book, which was printed, I think, in 1761, and the Mira Dakia, that's a commentary on various tractates of the Talmud Bavli itself, and on Maimonides' Yad HaZakah, that was printed in the year 1792. So you see his greatness was perpetuated very much by his star student, Rabbi Mordechai Baruch. So friends, we're a community here. If you descend from any of the great rabbis we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please subscribe now. We're coming near 7,000 subscribers. If you feel anyone's interested in watching these videos, please share these videos to other people and grow, and let's join and grow this great community where we're learning about the great Oriental rabbis of yesteryear. So wishing you all a fantastic day, friends. Take care and